First of all, I congratulate the organizers for this excellent initiative and be very focused on the topic. I've gathered few information and I would like to share with the participants. See, each country we have some cities who are the hallmark of those countries. Like in UK, Manchester was the industrial hub of UK and it emerged as a industrial revolution through Manchester. Pakistan, Sialkot is the country which every day passed by is transferring into a city we are all proud of. A city which contributes to greater in exports, value addition. They have somehow managed their own airport, they have their own airline, they have managing dry ports, and that shows the sign of maturity and much credit to Sialkot Chamber of Commerce and Industry and other senior leaders like Sheikh Riazuddin, Dr. Noman, and other uh, the presidents of Sialkot Chamber and all. Now, as far as exports are concerned, the traditional items like ready-made garments, like surgical goods, like sports goods, like leather garments are exported, sports goods are exported, and we are talking about a tune of $2.5 billion, out of which $800 million is only the sports goods. Now that you can enhance it to say about $1 billion more or $2 billion more. But what is really needed for Sialkot and exporters to develop vendor industry? Now, I was just going through some details and I would be very, very happy to share that the president, Sialkot Chamber of Commerce, Zahid Latif Malik, said that they wanted to establish support industry to facilitate business community in Sialkot. Now, what is support industry? I will spell it out as a vendor industry. Now, there are some small supporting industries of the big industry. Like for automobile industry, there are vendor industry where you make wheels, you make tire, you make seats, you make glasses, windscreen, and they assemble and then supply as a car. This is called vendor industry. Similarly, in textile, there are some vendor industries, some accessories producers which produce for the main textile industry. So Sialkot is lacking vendor industries. All main industries which I've just took the names have their own separate vendor industry. This is one thing. So we should develop vendor industries, and vendor industry is a supporting industry to the main industry, you can call it. It generates a lot of manpower. The buyer and sellers are comfortable because they're working on each of the terms and conditions agreed upon, and quality vendor industry or supporting industry. Now, the second my proposal to the participant is that somehow traditional industries are performing very well in Sialkot, and inshallah, this export will enhance. Uh, we have world-class manufacturers. We have military uniform, surgical goods, cutlery, dairies project, musical equipment. But now we have to divert to IT sector. We have to go for value addition in digitalization. We have to focus now e-commerce because all these items which are produced, they're world-class items. People know them in Europe and in America and anywhere in the world. Why don't you market them through e-commerce? And e-commerce is the name of the game. It is the future where we'll be selling more and more through e-commerce. So my advice, my humble advice to our exporters, brothers in Sialkot is to now focus more on e-commerce, digitalization, IT sector, information technology, and then go for more incubators. Let me tell you what is brand incubator. When you have a product you feel is of international repute and of international standard, then you designing color sequences and many other things that relates to bring up the product. Now, then you go for marketing and you market that product. And at times come when your product has a brand awareness inside and outside Pakistan. And these are all done through brand incubators. Incubators are generally for the children, infant who's born sometime premature, and they're kept in incubators for certain times till they are stable and uh, they are giving to the mother to take care of. Similarly, in brands, China is the number one country in the world who have the maximum brand incubators or maximum number of brands, local and foreign, which are developed through brand incubators. And brand incubators has a special niche. They are specialized people. They only work to develop a brand and to launch a brand. And they know how to do it. So I think we are already making beautiful products in Sialkot. They're very renowned, they're very successful, we are very proud of. But when we do the value addition and when we do the branding of those products through brand incubator, then these same products with the new packaging, with the new designing, with the new logo at the top of the box or packet or whatever you call it, it will fetch much more value than what they are fetching it now. And this is brand. And brand incubators are generally in China like it is the government who are running the brand incubators. They develop a brand and then they sell it in the market. And people are in queue to buy those brands. They are in queue because for 5, 6 years now this brand has established a name, a credibility, a reputation, and a demand, which is end of the matter. So Amjad Saqib Shah, like Akhuwat is a brand. Now we don't have to convince people to donate or to participate with Akhuwat. The brand has been established. And it took for a while to you with your deeds, with your action, and with your roadmap plan that a brand has developed. Now we have to go for branding of the existing product of Sialkot through top professionals to fetch the higher value. The brand incubators is the most successful model in the world. China has adopted it. We should follow. And it is the government policies to develop brand through brand incubators and sell it to the private sector. And they will pay you much more cost, which is incurred by the government in developing a brand. But they are because they hire the specialized people and they know their job how to launch it. So this is my humble submission to my fellow exporters from Sialkot and my distinguished speakers, my fellow speakers and colleagues, that a special economic zone are changing the mindset of the people in trade throughout the world. Now, luckily, there is one export processing zone in Sialkot. Now, this Sialkot export processing zones, where people approaching for relocation of industries. China is the number one country who visited us twice and thrice, and I even discussed with them in Beijing when I was the senior vice president, Federation of Pakistan Chamber of Commerce, that the industries where they have a labor incentives, where they have a lot of laborers, and because the labor cost is going up, the wages are going up, they can't afford anymore. 400, $450 for a basic labor, vis-a-vis $150 salary per month in Pakistan. So they want to relocate those industries to Pakistan. And they've discussed with me. The only issue is their economy of scale is much bigger than our economy of scale. We have a spinning mill for maximum 100,000 spindle. Chinese minimum spinning mill is 1 million spindle. Now, Sialkot has to come up with some strategy to join hand for relocation of industries, looking at their economy of scale and using their global market network of China and the additional custom duty which has been imposed by American on Chinese product. They wanted to now export this product from Pakistan because these additional duties are not imposed if the export is from Pakistan. So these are the new avenues for my exporters, my colleagues from export from Sialkot. Please look into that, and the export processing zones, or the most importantly special economic zones, where a lot of incentives are provided for with the tax benefits, zero custom duty, and other tax credits and benefits are offered. Please avail all those things and actively focus relocation of industries from China and vendor industries which supplies accessories and parts to the main industries. And unfortunately, so far in Pakistan, there is only one vendor industry which is successful model, and I can quote you none other. And that one vendor industry is automobile industry, where people are making virtually everything and they assemble, and we call it a car. But the same vendor industry should be in textile, should be in other product which Sialkot exporters are manufacturing. And vendor industry and high-tech technology is the name of the game, along with branding. This is my submission, my humble submission today. Thank you so much for providing opportunity to share my candid views, and it is more based on my practical experience, being involvement to share, and hope it will you find it informative. Thank you so much.